Alrighty then, it's time for a video for a champion I haven't had in quite a while, Jungle Elise. And yeah, no one's really playing her right now, so it kind of makes her more fun to play. So ain't that sounding a little bit too hipster? No one plays her, so therefore she's more fun, or the whole, I'm playing a super exclusive champion, something like that. But it's kind of true, right? If your main starts getting played by other people, you might not want to play them anymore, or the frequency in which you play them might just diminish. It's not fun. I mean, it's not fun being just another, at least another Jarvan player, right? When they're popular. I've seen, Yorick one tricks who stopped playing him because, the Yorick became top lane, and I mean he became a top lane priority pick, and then once he got nerfed, they too had to sort of abandon him, or some of them returned to him, but whatever, you get what I mean? By the way, that red situation was very awkward. Essentially, I saw Nunu go up the river and try to gank the Kali with a red buff, and I thought, did he just steal my red and then try to gank as a result of stealing it? So I went to his red to try to steal it, and it turns out, no, he started red, and there's some weird gank attempt at level 2 top lane, and then because he saw me try to enter his jungle, he went and stole mine. Just a very odd pathing decision, but it worked out for him mostly because we didn't have enough information. So, I guess. So, anyways, Elise mostly fell off the wayside because, coupled with some nerfs, a lot of indirect changes and meta changes just made her less appealing. Keystones aren't the best thing for all junglers. The jungle changes didn't benefit everybody, though you would think it would benefit someone like her. A lot of the jungle champions that are being played right now are pretty anti-Elise. Like Graves, I'm kind of afraid of fighting him because he can do a ton of damage to me before I can do anything to him. Like if I mess up my E on him, he just dashes away and then comes me down, and he kites me forever, something like that. And so on and so forth. Plus, now that it's a lot more tanks again, it's just not it's even less of a happy time for her. But in solo queue, that honestly doesn't really matter all too much. And maybe in some more higher divisions too, it might not matter all that much because remember Elise's main trick is just, or main one singular trick, it's just shooting a web at somebody, stunning them, and setting them up for a kill, which I get to freely do in this match. Also, on the occasion, maybe kill someone with your Q, right? And see, she works as a quasi assassin, mostly because she doesn't have all the tools to absolutely destroy someone in a very efficient way. So yeah, you're mostly using her for her control jungling and for her web shot. And you've seen me exhibit some control jungling, which is, and it's still hanging on, but it's mostly been in shambles to what it used to be. I'm mostly, keeping tabs on the map, trying to keep tabs on the enemy jungler, although I did fail at the very beginning, and just kind of, pressuring everywhere. As soon as the Herald comes up, for instance, I immediately go to him. This is kind of all what control jungling is about, and she used to be one of the prime control junglers of her time. Although, though, I really stopped playing her when, Riot made her really gank friendly. And gank friendly, I mean by making her deal a ton more damage than she probably deserved to do. Yeah. Summon Herald, he does some damage, in comes Nunu, and I actually like that sort of little interaction I'm going to be having with in this game. His snowball is probably one of his better abilities, so if he does it properly and is ramming at us, I could shoot him at a distance and just dodge the snowball entirely and make sure it doesn't hit my team. So it's like an indirect counter as long as my aim is perfect. Also, though, I do want to talk about Nunu just a little bit because people have been asking me about it. What do I think about the new Nunu? But no, I do not like the new Nunu. It's a new for me, bro. Essentially, the new Nunu is not fun. I don't enjoy it. The snowball is probably his most appealing thing, but I don't actually like it very much. And his E is probably one of the least fun abilities to ever use in the entire game. I despise that ability. It's not fun to use. His ultimate's the same thing, and the consume is the same thing, and you can bite people with it for, I guess, some damage. It's not really the greatest ability to be using as a bite. But, so yeah, his passive is, it is what it is. It's not really that impressive to use or whatnot. And it just kind of comes down to the debate as to whether or not you like old Nunu or new Nunu. I mean, I know old Nunu had a lot of issues, that he was either too dominant because of the buffs he gave and the annoying control jungling he allowed and the debuffs and all that good stuff. too much value in a champion or too little value depending on how they nerfed him one way or the other. So he was pretty difficult to balance. But his new one is just kind of makes him just another jungler, a tanky jungler, another weird quasi-tanky jungler. Because he's not really a reliable tank to have. I don't. That's kind of the main reason I don't like him. He's not really reliable. He only pretty much works as an initiator, and then hopefully you could stick on someone and then kill them, which is kind of like a lot of jungle tanks, right? He doesn't have the most reliable reaction. As in, the best you can hope for is that they fight on top of you and you get to ult properly, or that nobody's blocking your E on them and your snowball is just whatever. I don't like it. Even if I grow to use it properly and learn it, I don't think I'd probably enjoy the damn thing. Anyways, though, you can see my team and I are basically globetrotting. The only one who's really having much of an issue right now is the Akali. Also, whatever decision I decided to make here was extremely stupid. I thought I was harassing them for some reason, and I got myself caught and easily destroyed, so that was stupid of me. Thankfully, the Soraka got the kill, so it's like, whatever. But yeah, right at this point, you can't really see the chat, obviously, but my Akali's really mad, saying that no one's ganked for her and that we abandoned her and that she might as well AFK. So my entire team seems compelled to try to help her. But it's one of those cases where the rest of the team is doing pretty well, especially the Zed, and I have a pretty good control of the map and I'm keeping the enemy team on their toes. So it wasn't completely necessary. As a result, we kind of, are forced to inefficiently defend mid, but thankfully the enemy team sort of disperses themselves, because I think they were infighting amongst themselves too. Only a couple of chat messages were sent across. Anyways, the enemy Vladimir is probably their biggest threat right now, since obviously he's killed the Akali and he's farmed rather well in comparison to the rest of his team. So as long as he's kept in control, the rest of us should be pretty good. And like I said, look, that's probably one of the Elise's best, or kind of is Elise's best trait. Just man, I want to say the really bad way to say her E ability, but whatever. Just shoot people from a distance and keep away. Great kiting, great control from a distance, and it's just generally a very safe combatant. It's just not exactly has a lot of pressure outside of lucky shots. So when a full team fight actually occurs, especially one where the team is not fully coordinated, I really can't do very much except hope to kill some low health target. But even then, that's dreaming big. So essentially, Elise is not really that strong. It's just she's useful for setting up things, but if the rest of your team cannot pick up the slack for your deficiencies and when it comes to essentially killing people, then you kind of lose out. So in a short and skinny, Elise is kind of extremely team reliant, and on solo queue that can really hurt you. I mean, you could definitely set your team up for kills and sort of pressure the opponent a lot and squeeze them, but you better hope that your teammates don't completely flounder that opportunity you give them, or else it's just gonna fall apart. I've been playing more Elise games on this account other than this one, and some of them had that same situation occur where I dominated in the very beginning, and then even though we had a lot of kills, but they were spread out on the wrong people, aka me, and we weren't able to push that control and objective advantage, and as a result, it just kind of made my whole early game null and void. Therefore, I might as well have not existed. And then afterwards, I wasn't really a complete champion because I couldn't do anything beyond my web shot and some occasional damage. Something like Rylai's Crystal Scepter does definitely help, because at least it gives you some extra utility by allowing you to slow with your W occasionally. But even then, that's a little bit unreliable and still unremarkable at best. But yeah, as you can see, having at least a protective team comp, and what I mean by this is pretty good. We have Zed, who can keep himself safely alive. Jhin mostly, who can poke at people, but thankfully has a Nautilus bodyguard. Nautilus, who defends a lot, and Akali, whose true stealth is pretty stupid. So in essence, my team is very safe, and someone like Elise is really complimentary. But not every team comp will work that way. But that's what I mean, by the way. The whole web shot Nunu, if he's trying to get close to the little snowballs and then just stop him. It's pretty indirect, I guess, counter. So a lot of other champions will have the same effect, but I can easily do it. When I fought other Nunus and I tried CCing them in front, if they see my CC coming, they just throw the snowball and it still hits me anyways. But yeah, Nonetheless, it's sort of like a, this is a kind of we have a definite advantage right now, but it's still technically a slow crawl to victory because all our damage is on 2 champions and mostly physical. Akali is irrelevant at this point because she's not really doing very much. And just making sure they stay alive. Like I said, Zed can kill someone important, aka Misfortune or Soraka, and then Jin will just break the enemy team apart, and they can never reach him as long as Nautilus and I do our jobs properly. Nonetheless, I've been thinking of trying Elise again, obviously with better or different builds. The recommended item build that she has on websites is the one I decided to try her again with. And I'm not really too satisfied with them. Reliance scripts, something like I said, works on the occasion, but I feel like, there could be more. Maybe I'll take Spooky Ghosts, for instance. Or I even thought of something silly like Redemption on her just to make her a little bit more useful. Because again, you can see me, I'm sort of in the sidelines just poking at people and throwing my web shot every now and then. And then I kind of just don't do nothing and just kind of die. I've tried or I consider trying a lot uneven tanky release build, but then I do even less damage and just doesn't work as well as it used to. So she's a work in progress to try to bring her back to snuff in the current meta. But, she's fun to play again. And again, it's hipstery to say, mostly because no one else is playing her. And no one knows how to deal with her right now. So, yay. And if you liked this video, remember to give it a like. And if you aren't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. And if you are subscribed, make sure to hit the little bell up there somewhere so you actually get notifications to my videos because YouTube and stuff.